Friends, today I will explain you the life process respiration. Respiration, if we talk about the cellular respiration, it is a process of production of energy by the breakdown of food. In this flow chart, you can see that the glucose is breakdown in pyruvate by the process of glycolysis, and this pyruvate can have two pathway. One is anaerobic respiration, second is aerobic respiration. Okay, aerobic respiration, it utilize the oxygen for the breakdown of food and formation of energy. It has two steps, glycolysis and Krebs cycle, where it produces large amount of ATP through electron transport chain. In the process of anaerobic respiration, the pyruvate enter into the process. Here it can produce alcohol and carbon dioxide or lactic acid and energy. The production of energy is very less in comparison to the aerobic respiration, and anaerobic respiration is also known as fermentation. Let's go to observe the steps. This is the reaction that show aerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, the process starts in the cytoplasm of the each and every cell, and one molecule of glucose enter into a pathway that is known as glycolysis, and it breaks down into two molecules of pyruvate. Now this pyruvate enter into Krebs cycle, and in the presence of oxygen it break down into 6 molecule of carbon dioxide, 6 molecule of water, and it generate large amount of ATP, that is 38 molecules of ATP. And this process known as Krebs cycles take place in the mitochondria. Second, anaerobic respiration. Here we have two examples. One is yeast. In this, glucose one molecule break down in the cytoplasm. The process glycolysis form two molecules of pyruvate, as similar as in aerobic respiration. Now in the absence of oxygen, it enter into the breakdown. The process is called fermentation, and it produce ethanol. Two molecules of ethanol, the chemical formula is C2H5OH, two molecules of carbon dioxide, and only two molecules of ATP. Second example of anaerobic respiration is human muscle cells. They enter into anaerobic respiration during vigorous physical activity, like during exercise. At this time, the lack of oxygen take place, then the pyruvate formed after the glycolysis, it enter into the process of anaerobic breakdown, and it produce two molecules of lactic acids and only two molecules of ATP. The collection, accumulation of these lactic acid in the muscles create cramps. If the students are interested to know, the formula of pyruvate is C3H4O3, and chemical formula of lactic acid is CH3CHOH COOH. Now this is a representation of breakdown of glucose by various pathway. It is showing that glucose breakdown start in the cytoplasm of each and every cell, and the process is known as glycolysis. It produce pyruvate molecule, and this pyruvate may have three different pathway. Like in the absence of oxygen, it produces alcohol, carbon dioxide, and energy. In the lack of oxygen in human muscle cells, it produces lactic acid and energy, and in the presence of oxygen, it will be breakdown in the mitochondria, and it will produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Next topic is exchange of gases. If we are talking about respiration, then for this breakdown of nutrient, there is a need of oxygen, need of gas for the breakdown of food in aerobic respiration. So first we are going to study about the exchange of gases in plants. In plants, in case of leaves and in young stems, they have pores, that is called stomata. These stomata are guarded by kidney-shaped cells known as guard cells, which regulate the opening and closing of these pores. During the day, you know very well that in the green leaf, photosynthesis takes place and it produces oxygen, and on the other hand we are going to study about the respiration, where oxygen is utilized for the breakdown of food to get the energy. But during the day, the rate of oxygen production is much higher than the oxygen required for the respiration of leaf cells. So during the day, the gas comes out from the stomata is oxygen. But during the night, no photosynthesis takes place, there is no production of oxygen, and the plants require oxygen for the respiration and they produce carbon dioxide. So during the night, the gas which are rich in carbon dioxide, that is come outside from the stomata. In older stems, when it has a secondary growth, then they do the exchange of gases with the help of the openings known as lenticels. Third, about the roots. In roots, they have a hair-like structure that is called root hair at the epidermis, which increase the surface area for the exchange of gases. So in case of plants, each and every cell is involved in the exchange of gases, that is very much different from the animals. So what are the method of exchange of gases in animals? You can observe the various animals showing the different organs of exchange of gases. Like in hen, you can observe the lungs. In fishes, everyone know aquatic animals, they exchange the gases with the help of gills. In case of spider, here are the book lungs, a very primitive structure for the exchange of gases. In case of sponges, they have pores on its body surface for the exchange of gases. If you know about the earthworm, it has a wet skin for the exchange of gases. Human beings also have lungs for the exchange of gases. And the unicellular organisms like amoeba, they do the exchange of gases with the help of their cell surface, that is the plasma membrane. So different organisms from unicellular to multicellular, the animals have different organs for the exchange of gases. Now all these organs, in case of earthworm, the wet skin; in case of human being, the lungs; and in case of fishes, there are the gills for the respiratory organs. What are the common feature among them? Number one, all these organs have a large surface area to get enough oxygen. Like in case of lungs, there are alveoli which increase the surface area a number of times. Second common feature, all these organs have thin walls for the easy diffusion and exchange of gases. Third, all the respiratory organs like skin, gills and lungs have a rich blood supply for transporting respiratory gases. Only in the tracheal system of respiration, like in insect, they have the spiracles and has a tubular system that is called tracheal system. Air reaches directly up to the cells. Now the respiratory system of human being. Human beings have well-defined respiratory system that has nose, nasal cavity, then it open into the windpipe known as trachea through pharynx, trachea, then it divide into left and right bronchi. Bronchi enter into the lungs and further divide into smaller tubules known as bronchioles. Bronchioles and into sac-like structures known as alveoli, which are very thin walled and have rich supply of blood capillary network for the exchange of gases. They increase the surface area a number of times for the exchange of gases, and in each and every lung the number of alveoli is about 1,000,000. Now there is a common opening of nasal passage and buccal cavity, or from the pharynx, and from the pharynx there is a food pipe and windpipe. So at the time of engulfing of food, the windpipe or trachea is closed by a flap-like structure known as epiglottis. Okay, so the opening of pharynx into trachea, that is called glottis, and at the time of swallowing of food, it is protected by the closing of glottis with a flap-like structure known as epiglottis. Next, if we are talking about the respiration in human being, what are the various events? First event will be the breathing, that is taking in the air rich in oxygen and throughout of the carbon dioxide rich air. Then external respiration, then gas transport by the blood, then internal respiration, that is exchange of gases from blood to the tissue, and last is the cellular respiration, that is the breakdown of food with the help of oxygen. So we will discuss in detail about the breathing. Mechanism of breathing you can observe with the help of this diagram. It has two steps, inspiration and expiration. With the help of this diagram, you can observe that during inspiration, in the very first diagram A, the rib cage move outside, diaphragm moves downward and increase the thoracic cavity where lungs are situated. It increases the volume of thoracic cavity and decrease the air pressure, so air enter into the lungs, that is called inspiration or inhalation. Second diagram is showing that ribs and sternum return to the original position, diaphragm also relaxed and come back to its dome shaped structure, so it decreases the thoracic cavity, it creates the pressure into the lungs that expel the air from the lungs. So the steps of inhalation are: number first, the intercostal muscles contract and the rib cage move upward and outward. The diaphragm contracts and moves downward. The volume inside the chest cavity increases. The pressure inside the chest cavity decreases and air enters the lungs to equalize the pressure. What are the steps of exhalation? Now the intercostal muscles will relax and rib cage moves downward and inward. At the same time, diaphragm relaxes and come to its original shape. The volume of thoracic cavity decreases and the pressure in the lungs or chest cavity increases and air moves out, that is called exhalation. Now, when the air is present in the lungs, there is a need of exchange of gases. So, in case of terrestrial organisms, they use the atmospheric oxygen for the respiration. But in case of aquatic organism, they depend on the oxygen that is dissolved in water, and it is very less in comparison to the air present in atmosphere. So, the rate of breathing in aquatic animals is much faster than in terrestrial animals. In case of respiration in plants, they are also using the atmospheric air with the help of stomata in leaves and lenticels in stems, and in case of roots, they are using the root surface for the exchange of gases which is present between the soil particles. Now, how the gas exchange in the lungs? Lungs, they have blind sac-like structure known as alveoli, and air reached up to the alveoli. It is surrounded by the blood capillary. Now, the partial pressure of oxygen is higher than the partial pressure of oxygen in the blood, so it moves from the alveoli air into the blood. At the same time, blood has higher partial pressure of carbon dioxide than the air present in the alveoli. So carbon dioxide diffuses out from the blood capillary and enter into the alveoli. Now, how this oxygen and carbon dioxide transported with the help of blood circulatory system. In case of oxygen, 97% oxygen is transported by the RBC. It forms a molecule with the hemoglobin, oxyhemoglobin, and transported, and the remaining 3% through the dissolved in plasma. In case of carbon dioxide, that is transported from tissue up to the lungs alveoli. Here 20 to 25% is transported through the RBC, where it binds with the amine group of hemoglobin and form carbaaminohemoglobin. 70% is carried as bicarbonates, and 7% of the carbon dioxide is carried out through the plasma in dissolved state. This is all about the respiration in living organisms. Thank you.